Welcome to our final presentation. We are Team 13. With me are Simon, myself Kai Jie, Apollo, and Max. Here's an overview of our final presentation. Next, the first portion, the overview of the competition and the data. So we participated in the Isan Bank credit card fraud detection competition, and we were provided with credit card transactions. We were tasked to design algorithms and models to detect fraudulent transactions, which we did, and thereafter we test and fine-tune our models, and last but not least, evaluate our models using F1 score. So, summarizing, the main problem is to find out who is vulnerable in a given data and develop a prediction model to predict fraudulent transactions. Moving to the data preparation. Here's a quick overview of the pre-processing we did to our data. First, we dropped the missing values using drop_NA function or filled the missing values with the mean or mode of the respective columns. Next, we handled the outliers by plotting box plots as we can see from the right. However, we did not identify any significant outliers to be removed. Next, we performed data transformation by scaling the data using min-max scaler. Next, we did feature engineering using PCA to perform data reduction, and last but not least, we did a train validation split so that the validation dataset could be used for evaluating the training model before the testing phase. Next, we also did some data observations. First, we ran the correlation matrix to help us identify the potential collinear condition. And we also plotted histograms of the respective columns to help us visualize the distribution of data more clearly.
Hi, so I will talk about the models next. We use 3 different models. We use KNN, logistic regression, and decision tree. We tried 2 different approaches with KNN. And with approach A, we use a data set that was been reduced by 60%. We use PCA analysis and applied min-max scaler. And we tested where k equals 3 and k equals 5, and 5 performed better. With the approach B, we used a balanced training data set. We applied SMOT during the training process. We applied min-max scaler, and we used k equals 5, and approach B had the higher score of 14.3%. With logistic regression, we used a balanced training data set, and we found out that similar size training and public data set resulted in better test score. We applied SMOT, but they improved in performance that much, and we applied min-max scaler. We applied label encoder on the category columns, but that also didn't improve much. And we got a final score of 30.9%. And we also tested with decision tree with random forest classifier and AdaBoost classifier. We applied min-max scaler, and we discovered that AdaBoost classifier had the highest score with a 12.7%. We tested 2 other models very briefly, but our results didn't work out too well. And here's just a quick overview of logistic regression and AdaBoost classifier, random forest classifier. And our final score for our private is 0.29, which is 29%, ranking at 71, and we ranked at 131 for public with a 31%. Okay, and now we'll move on to the next one.
Moving on to challenges. So the main challenge we faced were of the submission limit. And we were only allowed to submit 4 submissions per day. Hence, in the initial part of testing our model, the submission limit was not even sufficient for us, as our validation F1 score did not represent the public score on the competition side. We had no other ways than to submit our results obtained from our model on the competition side to see how do we fare when we use our model against the testing data. Hence, the submission limit posed a problem to us, and it dragged us down at the initial part by a bit. Moving on to lessons learned. The first lesson learned was, as mentioned before, when we tested our validation dataset using F1 score, we got 0.7839. However, when we posted the results on the competition site, the score was just 0.127. We created a TA and we found out that it was because our model was too simple to tackle the task. Hence, rather than going back and forth of tuning the hyperparameter of our model, we could go on to more advanced deep learning models such as RNN, LSTM, or large language model to get a better score. Next, moving on to schedule review, we found that we spent a lot more time on data preprocessing and model selection and building than what we planned for. Hence, a personal takeaway for all of us is that for future projects, we could plan ahead at the initial part on how we could efficiently and effectively preprocess our data and select the suitable model to tackle our task. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.